Good evening and welcome to one more session here. I'm Hitarth, the chapter membership chairperson. As you all know, this is the CS Awareness Week, and today's session will be on web development. For some of you, it may sound really new and scary. Don't worry, it's not. You're in very safe hands. Today's session will be taken by S. Kaushik, one of our respected and bright chapter officers. For all the first timers here, guys, am I audible? Yeah.
Yeah, Hitat, you can go on.
Yeah. For all the first timers here, let me tell you, there'll be a quiz at the end. So, and we'll actually give a leaderboard to the top three performers. So please do pay attention and more importantly, have fun. With that, I would like to pass it on to Kaushik. All yours, Kaushik.
Thank you, Hitat, for the warm welcome. Hi, guys. This is Kaushik. So, I know you guys are seeing the weird worm in the screen that I'm sharing. I know it's quite satisfying and attractive. And there are a ton of websites. I know you guys are familiar with websites, though. Netflix, Google. On a daily basis, we use that. And I want to show you some actually really good websites. This is a website where you get, this website offers prices for the top design websites, such as, let's take the CV Breathe. The designs are extraordinary and exceptional in this website. And this is a worldwide awards are given in this thing. And this is a website, this is not only a website, it's a profile actually. The one who built it was a freelancer developer, and it's a really attractive and interactive page. As you can see, everything is in a form of a game or animation. Each and every photo has a details, and come on, it's interesting. And everything does not need to be some complicated stuff. Such as this thing is a simple website, but it's attractive. I know, and Netflix, come on, everyone's familiar with it. And I'm gonna use this Netflix as a real life example throughout the session. And designing this isn't not a rocket science or something like that. It's just web development. So today's event is a bit different than the last three events we had. Let me share my screen. It's web development 101, and last somehow all the events in the past, all the three events we had done are somehow related to the solid coding dimension. But today you'll see the fun side of it. I know programming is cool, but for some it gets boring, like problem thinking the logic and code and bam, that's programming. But that's programming from me, according to my theory. But some of us need that spark to get through it. That spark is web development. So today, let me walk you through the whole course. So before we start, feel free to ask all your doubts. Well, definitely will be answered at the instant or at the end of the session for sure. So we start with the first question. All of you might be thinking, why web development? Well, it gets basically it gets us to explore the creative side of us. Web development people are appreciated for the creativity that they get to exercise on the daily basis. And without a web developer, companies have basically left out by using the drag and drop and notepads. Come on, who wants to see a terminal window whenever you open a website? You want to see some nice, attractive photos, images, text, etc., etc. So, and many companies nowadays rely on web developers to develop a unique, engaging, and well-designed experiences that consumers expect today. And if you're a type that likes to work project to project or on your own terms, then web development gives the best opportunities. It's the best freelancing jobs you can get through web development. And I tell this for sure that it's the best for self-learning. You don't need to have to get a degree or a PDH, etc., etc. Just have to learn through some courses and get familiar with it. Experience is everything in it. And come on, it's a creative and a fun job. Who doesn't like it? So We start with some basic questions. So what is a website anyway? Wait, can some of you, can anyone unmute and give some examples? Like, what do you think it is? Other the definition that's there.
It's kind of a repository
Like
where the texts are stored.
Okay, that's actually quite good. But
intro, maybe an intro, like like outer, and what we look at something. When we look at something, we look at it. An outro is this something like that, like a poster for a thing, maybe a poster for a website, we can say.
It's a platform.
It is like an interface between the user and the website.
well, oh my god, you guys know so much about it. I think I'm wasting my time, but still. Okay, I wanna go through it in my way. So I know if okay, let me tell you an example way. Now, when you're bored and you wanna Netflix something, what do you think happens there? It displays all the posters, names, etc., etc., and obviously a website is a place where all the images, links, videos, and buttons, everything becomes active. But come on, there's obviously more going on behind the scenes. So we start with some other basic questions. Like we start with a link. Like the link is shown http semicolon / www.netflix.com. Now, what is www? I don't want to go into
World Wide Web.
the definitions.
Yes.
Okay, someone was telling. Come on.
And the World Wide Web.
Yeah, that's the basic definition we've been learning as a kid.
Yeah.
It's the really basic thing. So, what does it do? It's the thing that gets every information from a vast collection of multimedia resources into one place, in a unique place. Now, it uses HTTP. HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Actually, this is the thing that gets all the resource files into a single file and makes it possible for www to make it into a website. So what do you think a URL is?
It is like latitude, longitude, location for a website.
Cool, that's a really nice way to define it. Yeah, it's basically it's the resource locator. Like there are a ton of resource files in a single website or a single repository or in a database, but this URL gathers all the information and brings it together, making the HTTP and the resources files together. So this makes possible, all the three together make a single website link that we use very recently.
Yeah, someone has asked in the chat website identity. Yes, guys, basically like how each of you have a unique house address. So in the world, there is not going to be two house address that's going to be the same. Similar to that, for each resource that is there on the web, on the internet, you have a unique address. And that is nothing but your uniform resource locator. I hope that answered your question, Mukundan.
So to give you the basic idea of what web development is. So we have multiple components throughout the web development course. So in that front end is the user part. Now till now what we discussed, the links, the URL, etc., come under the website part and the web host backend part. And there's database. I don't want to go into the details. But going further, we'll see what each of them are. So where to start? I know it's a really common question for everyone. If you want to become a web developer, where do you start? So it's a simple three answers: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we start with HTML. So HTML is a basic language used in hypertext files, like basic elements of a website, or we'll go with a web page. Website and web page are really different. Website is one with URLs and etc. But web page contains the front end part where the user can actually view some the details of the page, like the headings, names, and other stuff. It's the basic HTML is basic skeleton of the whole web page. Like, let me show you an example. We'll use the Netflix page itself. So the names, the unlimited movies, or all the brackets, all the text format and everything come under HTML. All the lines, all the spaces is the basic skeleton of the Netflix page. That's done by HTML. So going further, so now CSS is the part where you can show your creativity in the main design part. It gives looks and elegance needed for the website. It's highly customizable. And let me show you an example for this too. So how do you think this image at the background came? Everything is CSS. The colors, the text sizes, the fonts, the curveness, every logo can be designed to CSS itself. The videos you want to embed in the web page, everything can be done through CSS. And CSS is ultimate, and there's no limit to CSS. You keep on learning till the end of your life also. It will not, you can't learn everything. So going further, going to the next part. And JavaScript. JavaScript gives lives to the HTML and the CSS web page. It defines what to do. And when a certain thing happens, like in Netflix, you click a poster or a register button, what will happen? That is decided by the JavaScript. And all the action in the web pages are done by JavaScript. And JavaScript is a text-based programming language which can be used both by client side and server side. So in Netflix page, so what do you think is going to happen when you get started? It asks you to input an email ID. That's also JavaScript. Or when you click it, you want a drop-down menu. That's JavaScript. Sign in. You want to go to another page. That's JavaScript. So wherever we can see that JavaScript, HTML, and CSS are used. So to get you a better understanding, you can see the image here. HTML is the basic skeleton. It's the basic text formats or spaces or etc. etc. And JavaScript is the mind behind everything. All the actions you're gonna do and all the activity that you're gonna plan for your website. And CSS is the looks. That's the main thing what customers are gonna look for. So let's see what's with the terms front end and back end here are. So front end. Front end is the part where user interacts. It's the part where what the user sees. All the CSS and the HTML comes under front end. It's also known as the client side of the application. And when coming to backend is the part which attaches the fun part to the coding dimension. Front end is the fun part, and backend it ties the front part to the coding dimension. It defines all the data which has to be shown, and this is where the website's engaging feature is made. Database is a single word, but most importantly, it's all the data that has to be first entered and extracted using backend programming languages. And this is also known as the server side. So by combining both front end and back end, we make a full stack developer. Nowadays, full stack developers are really famous and all the jobs are based on that only. Internships you get, full stack developer is the top. Now, to see what languages are used normally in front end and back end. Front end languages are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, AngularJS, TypeScript, and Sass. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are the basic languages used, but React, AngularJS, and TypeScript are the popular ones that are being used in these days nowadays. In backend is basically used to extract the data and gather all the data and what's gonna be displayed on the website. In the backend part, Ruby, PHP, Java. Java and Python are the main languages that are being focused these days. Golang is also the upcoming language coming up. So let's move on. Phases of web development. There are actually basically 6 phases of web development. first one, research. Research is the main one where you wanna find out the users you're gonna target, the how you're gonna design, what are the main criteria you're gonna check for before designing the application, and how are you gonna design the basic application, and what language you're gonna use, and then you go to the planning stage where you plan on what languages you use, how you're gonna implement, what process you're gonna use, and what teams you're going to select, and how you're going to target the customers that are going to use your website. And design and development part is the part where you design your website using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you start making your website interactive using development. This is the stage where your web page is complete. And next is the launch page, where you start launching your application in the World Wide Web. This is the part where users get to see what you've done. And once the application targets all the users, you want to see how to maintain according to the user credibility. That's what keeps your application alive and it has a future. The maintaining part ensures the future of the application. Moving on. These are some useful tools for web development. Figma.
Small clarification, Kaushik. Shall we take 5 minutes to answer some questions? I think there are some in the chat box.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we'll take some 5 minutes to answer some questions, guys. You can post in the chat box or you can unmute and ask. After 5 minutes, we'll continue with the session. So Abhijit has asked, do we need all the three to make a website, or can we independently make one with either of the three?
Yeah. To answer that question, basically HTML and CSS, you can make a website, but it's not going to be interactive. It's going to be just a simple images. From one image you go to another image, that's it. But when you put JavaScript into it, then it comes to life. So to answer your question, I guess three of them are needed.
Yeah, you can also implement so you would have seen the analogy previously, right? The skeleton, the body, and the actual decoration, the clothes. So you can just use a HTML. You can use HTML, the language, to just design a basic web page with all the content, right? If you are going to have some dynamic functionalities, like something that should happen if you click on the web page or something like that, if you have a form that you want to submit, like for example, you guys are submitting the registration forms, right? So those things, it would require some JavaScript and the other things to automate the page and make the user functionality easier. And CSS, it's just as makeup basically to the whatever page you're designing. So you can technically you can just use HTML and do it, or you can use HTML and CSS and do it. But JavaScript, it will always be along with HTML. It won't. You cannot have it separately, at least for developing a front end web page. Can C++ be used in the backend?
Yeah, C++ is basically object. It can be used, but it's not preferred because Java is more faster and it's more compatible with the JavaScript and other web developing languages.
Yes, guys. Like how we told you guys in the programming 101 session, you can use any language for doing anything, but then the support that particular language offers for a particular domain differs greatly. For web development, C++ does not have a really good support. It would be really tedious and almost impractical to do it with C++, but although you can find ways around. The most common languages for web development is, as Kaushik said, JavaScript and Python as well. So Python can also be used for web development. Later on, you can also explore about something called frameworks that are there for connecting Python to the front end, just dropping that keyword there for you guys to explore later. How is C# different from C? So
C is a developing language and C is a programming language. C# is similar to the one that, as Jagdish said, Python and Java, which are compatible with web development. But C# is mostly used in gaming development domain.
Yeah, don't get confused by the names. C is basically a imperative language, they say. Again, don't get intimidated by the names. It's just like there is a concept called object that is not there in C, but that is there in C#, C sharp, sorry. So C sharp, to give a bit history about it, it was actually released by Microsoft after Sun Microsystems released Java. So C sharp and Java are almost the same, if not exactly. Can all the programming languages can be extended through VS Code? Yes. So VS Code is like you have your notepad and Word document to type your text, right? So VS Code is like an environment where you can type code, and you can type any language code in there, because there is an extensive developer community support, wherein you have the extensions for customizing your VS Code. So VS Code, basically, what I mean to say is, it's like an IDE, we call it. You can just think of it as a notepad that makes writing code easier and visually pleasing to you.
You also have a VS Code demo in the future
Yeah,
slides.
we'll have that coming
Stay
up.
tuned.
Before that, Kaushik, can you show the inspect part? The hacking part?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have something fun now.
Okay. So
Good resource to learn Figma. So Figma is basically used to design a web page. You can just open it, and we'll also send you. You can find some YouTube tutorials for Figma. We'll also find reference link for you. Why do we need Bug.js while using dark web? Okay, that's a complex question. Yeah, we'll get to the questions a bit later, guys. Now I'm handing it over to Kaushik to continue the session. We'll have the Q&A session again at the end.
thank you, Jagdish. So, who wants to hack the Google and put your name into the US president? Come on, let's do it. Let's change it into my name, I guess. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so according to Google now, I am the president of US right now. Okay.
And he also hacked Google.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. But sadly, it's not that simple. It's just web development. But if Google get hacked that easily, I don't think we'll be living in a world that's peaceful.
So it will be
So-
seen only by you, or others also
Only by
can
me.
see it?
Only by me. It's just a fun, interactive thing to do. So I'll just show you what I did.
Yeah.
Every page has a HTML and JavaScript text files, right? So what I'm doing is I'm inspecting the page. Inspect is the feature where you can see all the codes, what's happening behind the website. So here.
So you can just do right click and select inspect.
Yeah, you can select every element and see what's there. You click this button and you can select any element and see what's happening there. What's the code behind it? Like here. This is the part where you can change the name.
So you see,
This is the image tag that's used to embed the photo of Joe Biden. Actually, what I did is just change my name to Kaushik instead of Joe Biden, and that's hacking. I know, I'm just kidding.
awesome. Can you show that once again? Yeah, Kaushik, sorry. I think some people wanted to see it again.
Sure. So first you go into any page, any web page. You right click on it, you get inspect option, and then you can see all the codes. And in the codes, this is the HTML part. And this is the CSS part, styles. Okay. And when you click this button, and you can select any element from the page, and you can see the code happening behind it. This is the HTML tag that's for the name, and this is the style part for the name. The color you're gonna use, the text border, and all the fonts and etc.
So you can see in that highlighted code on the right side, Joe Biden is there. So
Yeah.
there, if you just double click and change the content, it will change. But it is just for our, it doesn't update anywhere.
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah, because how this web page is served is it gets downloaded on our side on the browser and we see it. So we are just
See it in
on
any
the
site,
download copy
even
on our end.
Netflix also.
So if you reload the page, it'll revert it. So this is
I
the
have a
age
small doubt.
joke of
Something if
hacking.
you're saying in your
Pardon?
I will ask in Q&A session, sorry.
Pardon? I couldn't hear you.
I will ask the question in Q&A
Sure.
session, or can I ask now? Sure. Okay, can I ask now?
Yeah, sure. Go on.
No, what if we could share the same page? For example, changed your name and then you shared the page to somewhere else.
When you share the page, it automatically gets reloaded in the another person's device, so you won't get your name
Oh,
there. You're gonna again inspect in the device and then you're gonna change it.
okay.
So the exact link is that is the URL, right? So URL is Uniform Resource Locator. So for that page, that is the URL and that is there on Google's storage. Somewhere Google has stored it somewhere, right? So if you share that link, it is going to show what Google has only. When we change it, as you saw in the demo, it was on our side because whenever you see a web page, it first gets downloaded on our side in the browser, and then based on the buttons you click, it will keep updating the links. So basically, every page gets downloaded on our side. So when you do this inspect and you make some changes, you are only changing the copy of the page on your side on your browser. So that's how when you reloaded, you saw that it changed back. It reverted back to the original one, right? And this is nothing serious. It's just to show you this and to tell you the age-old joke of hacking with HTML.
And this is the part where you can explore the client side and the server side. What we did is just having some fun with the client side, but whenever you reload a page, it actually takes the data from the server side, so it reverts back to the original thing. Okay, so I guess that was fun. So going back to
You
the,
guys paid attention to that.
it's really important, guys.
Yeah.
So going further, now we're going to see some tools and some demos. That's basic for the web development. Figma, it's a rough designing tool. So when you have an idea, you can't just start coding. It takes time in implementing the idea that you have. By the time you complete half of the code, your idea is gone. So to make it simpler, you open Figma and you just design. It's just a designing tool for drawing and etc. So you design what sort of idea you get, you design it there, and you can just implement it in the rest of the coding part. And coming to VS Code, is the best offline code editor ever, or according to me. So we'll see what's VS Code in the further slides. CodePen is the online code editing tool. VS Code and CodePen are both same, but VS Code is a software that you have to download in your laptop, but CodePen is an completely online tool. So, and GitHub is a version control website. Okay, don't get worried with all the new words. Version control is nothing but it's a place where you can just display all your work, all the websites you have built, all the apps you have done. It's a place where every other people can see your codes or your work. So going further,
GitHub is basically like the developer version of Google Drive. You have Google Drive to save your files online, right, in the cloud. So, and you can share that with the world. Basically, GitHub is the same thing, but you do it for your code, your projects, and all those stuff.
so going further, we'll have a VS Code. What's VS Code? Microsoft Studio has released a code editor, or we call it IDE. IDEs are code editors with specific components. It's a VS Code is completely free. It's open source, and it's customizable, and there are ton of extension that you're gonna use, which makes your work a lot easier. There's autocomplete, there's beautify. Beautify is nothing but when your code is unaligned or not in a proper order, you just beautify it. In a single click, it's going to come into a proper code format. And no other IDEs have this feature, debug and terminal. It has specific inbuilt debug and terminal windows. That's specific to Visual Studio Code, which makes it really good. So let me just give you a demo. In the below link, you can go and download VS Code. So let me just give a quick demo. I'll just share the visual screen. Give me 1 second.
Excuse me, bro.
Yeah.
So, small note. Actually, VS Code is available. The web version is also available right now. Like a week ago, I guess it got released.
Yeah, web version is available, but it's not that customizable than the downloadable version. So it's a bit new. So you got to adapt to the your way.
Yeah, we would recommend
Downloading
everyone
because
download VS Code
Sure,
because
sure.
it's a very
downloading
versatile
since
and popular software for any code writing on your local machine. Sorry, Kaushik.
so this is the basically the open window of Visual Code. When you download it, this is gonna be there. There not going to be any reasons because that's the previous work that I did. And you won't see these many extensions that are downloaded by me. So I'll show you what to do basically, like the basic how to create a file and do a basic code. I'll give you a HTML, CSS web page, how to create a basic web page too. So let's start. First, you got to create a new file and then select a language. So we'll start with HTML. That's the basic skeleton in the chart. So HTML. And then first we'll save the file as we'll name it as index. Index is a common word for the opening HTML file, open HTML page. So yeah, now to start with HTML coding. So I've already included some basic tags, basic extensions downloaded in my thing. I'll show you how to download those also. So to start with the code, we'll start with this. So this is the basic tag that tells the website what HTML version you're using. This helps the website to adapt to the HTML version that you're using. And there, I'll give you the basic outline of the website. This is the HTML tag. Then the
So this HTML language is basically a collection of tags and information, guys.
this defines the skeleton of your whole
Web page.
web page.
So first you'll have the HTML overall enclosing tag. So you can see there are two. That is at the second line you can see open angular bracket HTML close angular bracket, and the 10th line you can see open angular bracket / HTML close.
So every
The
HTML
angular
tag.
bracket.
Okay, go on, Jagdish.
Yeah, the angular bracket just denotes that it is a tag. That is, you guys saw in the programming 101 session, right? So a programming language will have some syntax. For example, in C, C++, you have to end with semicolon, but in Python you don't have to. Basically, here this angular bracket will tell that this particular word that you are writing belongs to the HTML language, and it is not just plain English. So that tag is represented by the angular brackets. And you have closing tags. So you have HTML open, and at the end you have to close it. Every web page, this is the basic thing. You write, you have to open the HTML tag and close the HTML tag. Then similarly, you have head and body tag. So this is basically the skeleton of it. You can continue, Kaushik.
So this is the basic skeleton, as Jagdish said. Whenever you start with the HTML page, this is the common content that's gonna be there. It have to be there. So you might have seen why there's a error showing. Every head tag, there are actually parts in a web page, head, body, and footer, etc. Head is the part where you're gonna put your logo, your heading of the title of the web page, like that. Now let me start with head. So you want to remove that error. You got to start with title tag. How do you want to name your title? So we'll give our website a page, a website demo. We'll give a website title as demo, and we'll close the tag. So every opening tag is just the name of the tag and is enclosed between the angular brackets, and the closing tag is enclosed between the angular brackets with the slash and the name of the title, name of the tag. So head tag needs a title tag that's gonna help it. That's the basic format. Okay. So in the body part it's where you're gonna do all the including your text, editing your basic skeleton, giving your format, paragraphs, etc. Like let me give a title of the web page that's going to be shown.
Sorry to interrupt, Kaushik. Can you try to zoom in? Some are saying it's too small to see. Is it possible?
Okay.
Awesome.
So in the body tag, let me introduce you some new tags. We'll take as h1. H tags are the heading tags. H1 is the largest heading tag. Let me give you some demo for that. We'll give heading as hello world. So there's 6 heading tags, h1 to h6. So what's the fuss about all the different numbers here? See, VS Code, I told you that I extended, I've downloaded some extensions, right? These are the extensions. Like, see, if you're gonna change here, it's automatically changes the closing tag too. That makes your work really easy. 5 and then also 6. Okay. So this is the heading part. So how to run in? First, you're gonna save the file, and then how to run this. Running a HTML file is running it, making a local domain, and then it goes to the browser and it displays the whatever content that the code. The hard code is just converted into the inspect format, and that the data is shown in the browser. So basic command is Alt B, and then it goes to the demo part. I'll just share my whole screen so that whenever I'm changing the website, you can see. Yeah. So when you enter Alt B, it goes to the web page browser, and this is shown. So we gave 6 hello tags, right? Hello world tags, h1 to h6. So you can see that all of them have different sizes, font sizes. H1 is the biggest, and it decreases like that. So going on.
You can also just right click on the file and open with your browser. That's also another way.
So you see what you have coded till now. To show you what's happened in the Google and the Netflix page that I shown. This is the best thing. Like, see, we in the HTML tag, whatever is the code, it's gonna be here as it is. H1, H2, H6, continuously like that. Okay. So yeah. So we're gonna add some more tags. So now we have learned what's heading tags, 6 tags. So we're gonna put as 1 because that's the biggest. Now I'll be including a P tag. P is for paragraph. It's H tags and P tags have different font and different sizes, font sizes. You can actually change those. I'll show you those also. But, okay. So let's get a random text. So I'll show you how to get a random text. Okay, lorem ipsum is a random text used in designing. So whenever you don't want to type all paragraphs and paragraphs, you're gonna just use this.
Yeah, basically some dummy text.
Yeah, dummy text for design.
Placeholder.
Yeah.
You can type anything you want just for
Just for
demonstration
showing what
purpose.
it works.
We can just copy paste some random content.
So whenever you change your code, you have to save it and then go to the browser that you have been working and then just refresh the page. The course will be refreshed. You can see the paragraph and the heading for fonts are different, the sizes are different. So that's the p tag. And let's see, let's include the same p tag again. Let's see what happens. So I've included both paragraphs one below the other. So let's save and let's see what will happen. So it's going to be like two paragraphs, one below the other. But I don't want to, I want to increase the space between the paragraphs. So what I'm going to do, there's a tag called BR. This tag helps you to increase the spaces. It gives a empty line after the text that it's been placed. So I want space after hello world, maybe two. Okay, wait. Maybe I'll need 2 lines of empty space there. So I'll just copy this and paste 3. We'll put it as 3. There's no harm, right? So after this, I need 2. So now we're gonna save this, and you're gonna see the difference here. When we reload the page, you can see there's a lot of space between the elements here. So BR tag is for us to create some spaces, leave some empty lines between the elements. Okay, so I think this is too much space. So we're gonna just remove. We'll put one BR here and we'll put one more BR here, just for some. Yeah, cool. So this is the HTML tags that majorly used. So let's also see a image tag. I want to add an image. So see, you get immediate recommendations about what's the next command you're gonna type. It's that easy in VS Code. Source. Now, source is the tag where you have to give the what you call image name and the format. Now, I have given an image in here, demo. Demo is a JPG file, so let me give as demo.jpg. See, it gives that also. So I want to show the image and alt. Alt is the thing if when you're loading a page, if there's some error with the demo part, the image, or while loading the image, there's some errors, the alternative text will be displayed instead of the demo image. So I will go with alt demo img. Okay. And we'll also specify some width and height of the image that I want to be. So yeah, every tag in a HTML tag should be in a double quotes, and there are multiple editing tags that are there. I'm just giving you the basics of it. Width and height are the basic editing for the image tag. So let's give a width of 500 and height of, let us say, 350. So let's save the file and we'll reload the page. There's an image. So this is the basic HTML format that's there. This is the skeleton of my web page. Now let me give some style to it. So let's create a CSS file. We are going to create a CSS file. Select a language, CSS. Now we're going to save it. We'll name it as style.css. Style.css. That's all. Okay. So first, what all tags do we have here? Let's say we have body tag. I want to change the color of the body, whole body of the file. So see, this is the body of the file. Everything inside the web page is in the content in the body. So, and the heading file is, see, you can see that there's demo here. this is the title that we gave in the head part. Okay, so we're gonna add some styling to it. So I want to add some background color to my body. So first I'm gonna enter body, and the basic syntax for CSS is it uses curly brackets. You get to enter the body and enter some curly brackets. Every editing part you've done inside these curly brackets will be applied to the body tag. And similarly, I have what else tags do I have? H1 and P. Okay, we'll also give that H1. And we'll also give P tag. So first I want to change the background color of the body. We'll see. A ton of recommendations here. You can change background color, you can change the position, you can change the size, you can change the visibility also. So first we'll start with the basics, color. So we'll go with light blue. I'm a fan of blue, so yeah, light blue. You can also see the color here. And this is H1, I guess. Yeah, H1. Good. The H1 tag, what do I want to do? Shall we place it in the center of the screen? I think that sounds better, like a heading. So we'll first align it. Whenever you want to align some text, you're going to start with text with a minus symbol, and you can see all the different things you can do for the text, like decoration, transform, overflow, shadow. You can give a shadow to the text. You can change the colors. You can align it. Now we are going to do align. So where do we want to align? We'll go with center. Okay, and I want to change the color also because we have a light blue and black. It's so contrasting. So let's change the color too. So for background color, you put background, but for just changing the color of the text, it's just color, semicolon, and the color which you want to be there. It's gonna be, let me put white. And paragraph. What I don't want to do with paragraph? Let me change the font of the paragraph. It's pretty boring actually. So we'll go with font family. This is the function which changes the font of the tag. Let me go with word. There are a ton of fonts. You can also include many fonts, as many fonts as you can. You can create fonts also. And you can embed the files in the VS Code, and then you can apply those fonts too. Let's change the font size too. So you might be thinking, why do we need two types like H1 and P? You can use just, instead of P and changing the font size, why can't I use just H2 and H3? Because H denotes heading. If you're going to use P in H1 H tags instead of P, while styling the whole file, it's going to get clumsy because whenever you want to apply some specific styles to your paragraphs, you have to again change it to H1 and give some IDs. Instead of that, you can just give everything in a P tag and just apply all the changes. So font sizes are in pixels. So we'll give a 20 pixels, I guess. 20 pixels. Yeah, that's good. So CSS can be applied in a HTML file first, but we have to embed in. We have to export the CSS file in a HTML file. So how to export? In the head tag, we are going to open a link tag, which will link our CSS file. For that, we'll give rel. This rel, we're gonna give the name of the file, and in href is the place where we give the file name. CSS. What is the file name? Style.css. That's it. That's the single line which connects the HTML to our CSS. So let's save both the files. Now we have linked the whole thing. So what should be the output basically? So the background should change to blue. We have changed the font colors of paragraphs. We have aligned the heading into the center of the page. So let's refresh. Here you can see we have changed the font color to white. The fonts changed. There's a background, and now it's looking a bit cooler than before, right? Not the dry skeleton. We have some clothes on. So what else you want to do? Okay, so I also give you a gist of JavaScript. So we'll add one more file. We select the language as JavaScript. So let's save it as index.js. Now, what do I want to do? First, I want to include a button here in my HTML file. So I'll open a button tag, and this I'll give type. Type is button, and on click is on click is the function which denotes what to do once we clicked on the button. So we'll leave it empty for now, and we'll close the tag. And whatever you give between the button tags will be the text shown on the button. So let's say click on the button for date and time. We're gonna display date and time. Date. Okay, so we'll also give a heading for this. H3. It's so big. So we'll name it as JS demo. So okay, we'll first save this and we'll see what happens in our HTML file just without JavaScript, without doing any JavaScript. See, you can see a button here and a heading and a button. While clicking the button, nothing will happen. So this happens when there is no JavaScript in your web page. So to give life to it, you're gonna start with your JavaScript. So in your JavaScript first, JavaScript is very similar to Java. So first you're gonna start with function, a simple function, and name of the function. I want to name my function as, we'll go with demo. Open close on brackets. And here. Now inside the curly brackets, you're gonna give what we have to do in the function when the function is called. So okay guys, so I'm not gonna scare you with all the statements in this. So just see the demo. Okay, so what does this function do? Whenever I click the button, this extracts the date and time at that particular moment and displays on the function on the screen, on the web page, to be precise. Okay, so this is just single function in a JavaScript file. So now we'll go to our HTML file. So what I'm gonna do here, when I click the button, it should call the function. So what's my function's name? I named it demo. So I'll copy this and I'll drop it here. So when I am clicking the button, on the click of the button, it should call the demo function and do the function that's supposed to be done in the Java file. So like CSS, how CSS is connected to the link tag. So how are you going to connect the JavaScript? So to connect the JavaScript, you're going to use the script tag. In the script tag, similar to CSS, you're going to give the source name as index.js. And then we're going to just close it. That's it. To connect the JavaScript, you have a single statement and your function call statement. That's it. You're going to save everything. Now, what's supposed to happen when you click the button? You have to see the time and the date at the particular moment. So I refreshed. There's nothing on the screen because JavaScript is that all the magic behind the screen. So when I click it,
Kaushik,
yeah,
place the script tag at the bottom, no?
pardon.
Place a script tag at the bottom.
At the bottom, okay.
Yeah, before body, before the ending of body.
Try yeah.
I tried it before, so it works here. Maybe there's some problem with this size.
Kaushik, yeah, just in 1 second and just, yeah, 1 second, I'll just check and let you know.
So actually, do we have the demo element here, the ID equal to demo? You have to define that, right? Where you will be giving the date.
I have to give the ID
Where-
where you're gonna, yeah, the P tag. I have to give a ID and where I'm gonna, where the text and time are gonna be displayed. Okay. My bad, guys.
So this is like the placeholder, guys. So
Yeah.
if you go look at the JS function, the JavaScript function, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the JavaScript function, you can see document basically it means your page. Okay, it just basically refers to your HTML page. So the document dot get element by ID. So you know that here we are talking about tags, right? So you can consider each tag what it represents as an element. So that element we are giving the name of that element as demo, and then inside that dot inner HTML is equal to date. You don't have to worry about the syntax for now. Basically, what we are trying to do is we are selecting a tag or an element named demo, and inside that we are filling the content. What is that content? That is today's date, which is achieved by giving date open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Now on the HTML side, you need to have that content, that element, right? So you just give a basic p tag with that ID, and now you can see the date and time is updated on the page. Maybe you can close the inspect window. Yeah, so at the bottom you can see upon clicking the button, it is updated with the date. You can continue, Kaushik.
Okay. So that's the major part of the whole VS Code demo. So I know this whole code is not looking that great. So why don't I just uh, do a quick beautify? Okay. So
And there's a question in the chat box asking CSS is linked in the header tag, but script is linked in the body tag. Actually, you can link it anywhere. You can
anywhere,
link it in
I
the header
just put
tag
in
as
the
well. You can
tag.
link it to the body tag as well. There is no hard and
Yeah.
fast rule that you have to link it there. You can keep it in the header or in the body. It's completely your choice.
So how to download extensions? There are actually a ton of extensions. You can change the theme of VS Code. You can. This is the beautify thing. Whenever you run this, you just beautifies your whole code. So let me scroll.
So you can see it automatically did the proper indentation for us to read it easily.
Okay, I think we're taking a lot of time. We'll go to the next part of the PPT. Okay, now let me give you a quick demo of CodePen 2.
So CodePen is like the online tool, or we can call it a playground, because it's an online sort of a place where you can put your HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and there itself you can see the output of your code.
I'm
So
gonna
just
use same codes, but the image not gonna come because the image is in my system, so you can't display the image here. Other than that, every code can be used.
yeah, maybe if there's an option to upload, maybe we can do that. Otherwise, the browser it needs to access our local file.
It updates immediately. You don't. There's no need to reload the page and etc. You can just if I want to change this color to blue red, make it as red. It updates immediately. There's no need to it gets there's no need to reload the page again, save the files. It's a quick tool if you don't want to use VS Code and complicate your things. So this is the CodePen demo. So next, so I've planned a small activity for you in Figma. Figma, as I told before, it's a designing tool. Uh, what you
Just
have to do in Figma?
open Figma, guys. It's just for designing. You don't have to worry if there is any code or anything.
There's no coding. It's just
Can
design, just for your interaction. So
design the page basically.
So basically, you have to design a simple profile page in Figma. Like first, you got to create an account. Account is not necessarily be your college email ID or anything. It's just for your preference. Then you're gonna create a new project. You're gonna start designing your profile page, export as an image, and upload it in the form. So let me give you a quick demo of what you're gonna do. First, you're going to create a new file. When you click the new file, it's going to take into a whole editing screen. Now here, so I'll give you the basics of what are the elements in Figma. So first, they are frames. So for me, I'm designing a desktop. So I'll select a desktop. But if I don't want a desktop, we have a ton of things like presentations, or you're gonna design a watch interface. You're gonna design make it a social media, Twitter post. Each thing has different frame size. So you can have everything. If you're designing for a phone mobile application, each phone has different aspects. So according to that, you can check out the frames. So for right now, it's a desktop. So we'll go with this. Okay. So let me add a rectangle first. Okay. So let me change the color of the whole background. We'll make it into a blue. It's changing the color of the whole background. That's not what I want. This one. Here we can change it into whatever color we want. Let me put it as gray. Let me put in another rectangle. Here. Let me change the color of this to light blue. And I'm obsessed with blue color, so don't mind. That's pale blue. So now I want to include some text, my name probably. So I'll put my name as. Okay, it's too small, I guess. So we'll increase the size of it. Size. Oh, it's good. I didn't like the text format too. Let's change it to something. I didn't get the kick out of it. So let's see. There are a really lot of text fonts. You can just explore them. So let's go with some simple one. Okay, that's cool. I'm also going to increase the font size a bit more. Yeah. Good. Now, let me give a designation for myself. Come on. Everyone's going to do that. It's kind of a self-boasting thing. So, CS student. Okay, the font's not that great for this, so metal probably. Yeah, this too. That's good. CS student. Moving on, I wanna. So this will be the heading of my page. So I wanna include some maybe some links. It's just this is so keep in mind that this is the tags that are gonna act as links and other elements in your web page. This is just a design, but when you hard code it, it's gonna turn into a solid website which is gonna with have some links, photos, and embed in all the other images and etc. So I'm gonna have a home tag, another tag with maybe my resume. So let me just align them, have it in the same way. So here, change the color of it. We'll go with the same color that we put for the border. This is just to show how Figma works to get you guys familiar with it. Let me put an eclipse here. I want to put my photo here right now. So there. That's now I want to include a photo of myself. Let me select. Okay, we'll put a demo photo only. Just have to click on the interface and it will automatically get your photo inside it. And then you just got to change the size and anything like that simply. There's no need to crop and change the shapes of it again. It's just gonna fill the image in the frame that we set earlier. I set an eclipse. So let's copy paste this. I wanna tell everyone hello. So and I wanna give some nice links here. I wanna put some text inside it. Let me say my resume. Add font. Let me not in the center of the I can just select these two, Control C, and then I can just paste them around. I want three like that, three buttons. So that's the third button. So that's gonna be my resume. This is gonna be about maybe my work. This is gonna be maybe my skills. So those are gonna be my three. Make it as think of it as like three buttons, which are gonna take to different pages to show the next links. So I'm gonna include another text here. I'm gonna tell a small para about myself. I'm gonna use this dummy text. Okay, so this is change the font size.
You can see how easily you guys can do it without having to
Exactly.
write code,
I
guys.
don't even code. I'm not even opening a code editor or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just designing my whole page here itself here.
The first demo you saw how to write the code. Now you are seeing how to design it. So
Yeah.
if you remember in the slides we saw phases of web development, right? Researching. Does anyone remember what are the phases of web development? Researching, planning, design, development, launching, and maintaining. So Figma, where do you think, in which phase do you think it will come? Anyone answer? Again, research, plan, design, develop, launch, and maintain.
Design.
Exactly. For development, you'll be using HTML, CSS. On Figma, you can just do a markup. So many of you guys, no, it's not develop actually. So coding will be developing. Designing, you'll be using Figma. So basically, what are you doing with Figma? You are setting markups, right? This you call it as a markup. Like what you are going to develop using your code, you're just trying to envision, you're just trying to visualize how you are going to have it, like what are the things I'm going to have, what is the layout I'm going to have. So you're basically designing it using your creative minds. After you set this in stone, right, you can go ahead and convert this to the code and basically develop it, right? That process, it's just syntax and googling and knowing some basics. So the designing is most part.
See, now this is my whole. Think of this as my whole profile page. I gave two links, home and resume. I gave my resume, my work, my skills, and I've given my socials. This is the basic design what we are expecting from you. That it's just an interactive activity and there's no deadline or leaderboard for this. So I guess you guys are clear with how to use Figma and stuff. If you guys any doubts, you can just unmute and ask me. I can just show you here. Any doubts, guys? Okay, cool. So I guess everyone's clear. So you can continue. So this is another example that I gathered for you guys, and that's the form link that will be also shared in your chat box, and at the end also in your WhatsApp group it will be shared. This link will be open for 24 hours, and you can just take a screenshot or export it in a PNG or a image format, and just upload it. There'll be no leaderboard, but I myself or whole of our team is gonna go through all of your designs. That's for sure. Because you want to see how enthusiastic designs all of you have done. So going on further, these are some bright beginner ideas for you to work on in program development. Personal blog that's similar to what we have done, but we have just designed that. When you start coding, then your real talent is gonna be there. To-do list is a web page where you're gonna have a list of things and you check a box and it's gonna show you if it's done, then it's done. You're gonna check some boxes like that. There are many other applications like quiz games and simple landing pages. You can have Zomato clones or any website clones are pretty simple to do without the JavaScript though. And survey forms or calculator and address books, all of these are available, all the codes are available in the net, but I seriously suggest you that you start exploring through, because web development is not a learning language, it's about practice. The more you code, the more you learn, and there's no limit to learn. Like other programming languages, once you master a programming language, it's done, but in web development there's continuous learning. But learning is actually fun in web development. So these are some useful links that I've gathered up for you. We'll be sharing it at the end so you can just explore all this. W3 Schools is the best thing where you can self-learn the web development. That's what I've done though. We'll be sharing the whole document so you guys can explore through these at the end. And we have activity right now.
Kaushik, if may I have 1 second?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah. There's one question which kind of intrigued me. It's actually a good question asked by Srinidhi H. Sorry, Srinidhi PV. She asked about Bootstrap and how much space it requires. So yeah, Srinidhi, the thing with Bootstrap is, yeah, as mentioned in the chat, it's like the elder brother of CSS. But it's for a more technical definition, let me tell you, it's like a predefined set of styles given by Bootstrap itself. Like what we for CSS, what we've done is we give a background color or we give the image, like we give the image size. In some cases, there's already a predefined set of styles provided for us. So we don't have to, manually do all the coding. So, like, Kaushik, if you can just open Bootstrap once, Bootstrap website once. Like, though this is a little ahead now, I just give a brief, like, because most of you seem interested about that. Yeah. Just don't get started. Yeah, let's just see.
Okay, so you want to know what Bootstrap is? Okay, you guys are more enthusiastic than I expected. So Bootstrap is basically a JavaScript and CSS together. It does your work easily. Like if you're doing a CSS file, like I've shown you, see in this we have to hard code everything like background color. You have to set a background color and type everything. But when you're using Bootstrap, it does your work. Like if you want to set a color, you just have to give some a single button, and then it sets color for every button rather than setting for each and every button and each and every text.
Yeah, Kaushik, I think an example will be better. Do you want an example? Just,
Example.
Yeah, if you don't get started, you give a list of,
Let me give a quick quiz for the participants. So you saw we linked the CSS file, you saw we linked the JavaScript file, and now you guys asked about Bootstrap. So which is like you have a predefined set of definitions there which will be linking to your code. So what concept is this linking talking about? This is actually from your programming 101 session. Like, can you give the equivalent of what this linking is in your C or C++? Just a quick question to the participants.
Is it like libraries and stuff?
Right, exactly. In your C, C++, you have import, right? Include. You'll be importing the library using include
Header files.
Header file, exactly. It's a similar concept here.
Yeah. Yeah, so the reason why I brought up, Jyotishan, is there? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah. The reason I brought up is because she asked how much space it requires. The thing with it is, it can be either 480 or 0. Can you guys guess how it can be 0 as well? I mean, I say 0, I'm saying you might not have to download it also. So, does someone want to guess how it can be 0? Guys? Okay, I'm guessing, anyone wants to answer? Like, take a random wild guess, Yeah. Well, Kaushik, can you hear him or is no one answering that?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, yeah. So why I'm saying it will 0 is if you Bootstrap uses something called CDN, that's a content delivery network that you guys will learn much ahead, like in your second or third year. But yeah, basically you only have to download the Bootstrap library. You can just directly retrieve it from the database itself. So that's the interesting point. Like you might not even have to download Bootstrap as a folder. Like you go click manually download. So you can use a CDN instead and get it to work. So that's why I'm saying it can be 480 MB or it can even be 0, based on how you guys want to use your storage. Thanks, Kaushik. Yeah.
Awesome. Do we have any more questions? Feel free to unmute and ask your questions, or you can drop them in the chat box. We'll just take 5 more minutes to answer your questions, and we'll post the links to the feedback form and the activity. So today, just to make it clear again, there are 2 activities. The first activity is the quiz, where you'll be having 10 questions and 15 minutes time for that. It's a really fun quiz which we have done. If you have been throughout the session, it'll be just cakewalk for you. So I recommend everyone to try out the quiz, activity 1. Then the activity 2 is open for 24 hours. till tomorrow 7 p.m. and that is the Figma design activity, where you will be just creating an account on Figma and you will be designing your profile page like how Kaushik did it in the demo just a few minutes back. So you can, you can go wild on it. You can explore your creativity and everything, and you can just make an awesome design. For the quiz, we'll be having the leaderboard. For the Figma design, we'll take some time to review the designs definitely, and based on that, we'll get back to you on our socials. Are there any more questions? We'll take some questions for 5 minutes and then we can move on for the activities. So assuming, what is the question? Can you list few intermediate and advanced domains of web development? So I think maybe you are talking about the technological stack. No, what are you trying to ask? Intermediate and advanced domains of web development. So web development is one domain where you do the full stack. Like to give a basic example, right? So in programming 101 session and in your HackerRank contest, you saw that you wrote your code in C, C++, Python, and when you run it, you will get the output on the console. Now, if you don't want to get the output on the console and you want to visualize it nicely on a web page, then you go for web development, where in backend you do it in some language, preferably JavaScript, Python, and the related frameworks. And that you have some some frameworks and some advanced level concepts which you can learn in the next workshops to connect to the front end and show the same output on the front end. Oh, okay. CSS, JS. Maybe you can show that language slide, Kaushik.
Yeah. Language slide.
So the basics is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So when you get the fundamentals right, as someone had asked, Bootstrap. So Bootstrap would be your next thing to make your work of CSS and JS easier. Then you have frameworks called React, Angular, JS. So those things are frameworks which you can use to make your front-end coding even easier. So those will be like the next level of concepts. You don't have to worry about them now. For now, we recommend all of you to get a basic head start on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript if you already have it. And on a side note, I think CBSE, right from the 8th standard, HTML, CSS are introduced. So it's not too late or anything. Web development is a course that people learn right from 5-year-old to 50-year-old. So we really, it's a basic concept. Again, there might be a misconception that it's computer science related, not at all. Even if you see in the company, people working in web development jobs will be, from across the different branches of engineering, and not only engineering. You have many professionals working in web development. Because as you saw, it's not just coding, it's also design and your creativity as well, right? Go ahead if you wanted to say.
Remember guys, web development, there's always opportunity for doing more and doing it in an easier way. So it's important to get your basics right first. There's another question from Anirudh that how much hours it will take to just create a simple blog website. It depends on how you're doing it, on the way you're doing it, how complicated you're making it. So approximately, let's say a day or two.
Yeah, take a weekend and go through tutorials, go through W3 schools, and just get your hands dirty. Yeah, post the PPT itself in our link, in the resources link. The link to our resources for all the CS 101 sessions are in our Instagram. They're also uploaded in our WhatsApp and Discord channels. We'll post the links again. You can access all the resources there. We'll also post the YouTube recordings in the YouTube channel. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, bro, how to get SSL certificate, like for getting HTTPS in our own hosted website, and how to encrypt the actions we do in website?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you want to take that, Kaushik, or shall I?
I didn't get the question actually. Can you repeat the question?
Basically, he asked, we have HTTP and HTTPS, right? So if we are hosting a website on our own, how do we get that security certificate and get the HTTPS for us?
Yeah, that depends on You have to get it through there are many websites to host your websites, host your web page actually. There's one called
Yeah, there's GitHub and Google Drive also we can host, but still, like if you have a Raspberry Pi in a home and if you get 100 Mbps speed, I guess so, and we host our own website.
no,
And
not
how
like
to
that.
get
If you have a whole project in your GitHub, you can use a Vercel. This is a hosting. This is a project deployment uh, website where you can deploy your projects in form of websites. It'll give you a separate URL link for your specific website itself. You can link this with your GitHub, and then you can deploy the whole project itself.
Yeah, after creating a repository, we can do that. But
Yeah.
still, if I need to host it on my own machine, then how to get an HTTPS on my website?
So for
Perfect.
hosting your website, you have to use a cloud service. That is like the next concept. Like
The
you
web
have
hosting service, right?
web hosting service. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can use Google Cloud. You can use Amazon Web Services, and as Kaushik pointed out, you have some free ones like GitHub Pages and so on. So when you have a professional project or something you want to host with your SSL certificate, that's what you're asking, right? So if you use these cloud platforms like Google Cloud and AWS, you can easily get the certificate through their channels as well. And there are also other certification issuing authorities where you can verify and get the security certificate for your website.
clear the air here. Basically, designing a page is quite different than deploying the page. Creating is just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript where you create the whole page and which only visible to you and which you can show it to others. But deploying is whole other thing. You have to first create a database and then link it to it. You have to use Docker. There's many softwares like Docker. Docker is one of the softwares to deploy your website. Like Vercel. Vercel is a web page, a website to deploy, but Docker is a software which helps you to deploy your own project from your own system. So there's a lot of things you can explore, guys, but seriously start you to get your hands dirty with the basics first. And if you guys want to know anything about the future topics also in the feedback form, we have a question like any specifically topics you want a session on. You can guys can give your feedback on that.
Brother, I have just a basic question. Like being a fresher, can you just tell the tips like how to start with and what should be done exactly for a person who who's new to computer science and coding and all those things?
Sure. First, start exploring the links that will be shared to you in a few minutes, though. In the links, you can find W3 schools. Explore all the links and start seeing tutorials. There's a ton of tutorials in YouTube which you can do. And web development is self-learn topic. It's it's all you can do. Self-learn is the best thing to do for web development. HTML,
Regarding
start with HTML. HTML is the basic skeleton and continue with CSS. Once you master both of these, then go to JavaScript.
And while you learn this, you don't have to learn and remember every single syntax that is out there, right? Because Google is always there for you to just search whatever syntax you for whatever functionality you're trying to do at that time. Just get the basics right, like what is a tag, what are the layouts, the fundamentals, and for that you can use W3 schools. W3 schools is like one haven for computer science students. W3 schools, Geeks for Geeks. Apart from that, there are some links we've posted in the PPT also, which we'll be sharing with you. And you can always feel free to follow YouTube tutorials or take courses if you want to stay committed, you know, into learning it in a certain period of time or something like that.
And it's not
So
like course exam that you're gonna write. It's just a
exactly,
thing you're gonna learn and do on your own. So it's
right.
depend on your own itself. So
Yeah, Kaushik, just now I remembered one thing from what you told me. I think one of our seniors told me this joke. He's like a web developer is not somebody who, knows how to write code, but he who knows how to copy and paste code. So it doesn't like writing the code is very important, but the funny part is you have to know which code to copy and paste and where exactly. So to get that, you guys need both like the experience and the practice that comes with it.
Yeah, thank you, Hitan. So I think there aren't any more questions. So if you have any more questions, feel free to post them on our socials. We'll make sure to pick them up.
You can definitely
So
contact with all of the members. Everyone will be happy to answer your questions. These are my socials. You can connect with me and ask your doubts anytime. I'll definitely answer your questions. And I guess you can start your activity right now.
yeah, so this comes to the close of the session. I would like to take this moment to officially close the session and thank each and every one of you for joining. And I profusely thank Hitarth and Kaushik for coordinating and delivering this wonderful session. Thank you, Kaushik. It was really an interactive and a fun session filled with demos and hands-on. I really believe that everyone has some idea of web development now towards the end of the session. Although we saw a few participants today, yeah, we can understand that it's because of the Vivas and everything. So you can guide your classmates and your friends to watch the recordings, catch it on our YouTube. And you can also pass over the activities link for them to just try out. So I'll post all the links now. The feedback form, I request each and every one of you to fill the feedback form immediately. And actually, for the quiz starts from 7:50. It will be live till 8:05. So you have 15 minutes. There are 10 questions. So you can take the quiz first. I've posted the links in our chat. So activity 1 is the quiz. Do hurry up and complete the quiz by 8:05. It starts at 7:50, so you have 3 more minutes. And activity 2, Figma design for your profile. It's open for 24 hours till 7 p.m. tomorrow. And I request that you fill the feedback form after you finish the quiz and do not forget about that. Thank you guys. It was an amazing session. Thank you for joining.
Any doubts in the activity 2 or now or right now taking the quiz, you can just ask here.
Yeah. The quiz will be live in 2 more minutes. So 7:50, you can start the quiz. Please do fill the feedback forms after you are done with the quiz. So we'll close the session now, guys, so that you guys can start with the activity. Any more questions, you can feel free to ask in the ACM WhatsApp groups, the Discord groups, all are alive. We'll make sure that we address each of your queries. Thank you, guys. Have fun.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys.